So this is my review of the Milwaukee M18 vacuum cleaner. There's the part number. So if you're like me, before you buy anything you do a bit of research online, and I primarily use YouTube, and I watch lots of videos about this vacuum cleaner and they were all very positive, which is why I then bought this. So I thought I'd do the same, but my video isn't so positive. I'm a big fan of Milwaukee cordless tools, but this is one product I just haven't been able to gel with. So I use this vacuum cleaner with a 5 amp hour M18 Milwaukee battery, and that's why I bought this particular vacuum cleaner, is because I've already got other Milwaukee cordless tools, already got the batteries, so any cordless tool I buy now I just default to Milwaukee because I'm already on that ecosystem. And all Milwaukee tools I found to be just first class. I've got many of them and I can't fault any of them. This is the first cordless tool I've bought from Milwaukee where I'm just not happy with it. It works as a vacuum cleaner, but it's just a bit too large, a bit too noisy, a bit too unwieldy. And I've had this for about 6 months now and I'm hardly using it. I'm still going to my trusty old pneumatic Hoover there. So first off, as a vacuum cleaner, it works very well. It sucks. So that's all it's got to do. It's got to pick up the rubbish and put it in the bin, and then you empty it. And as a vacuum, it really does work well. You do get a selection of tools, extension pipes, flexible hose, and a floor brush or whatever you would call that. And as you can see, I haven't used any of them. I just use the nozzle on there, and then you've got a shorter nozzle there. I think as a floor vacuum, when you're holding it like that, it may work a little bit better because the weight is then down into the floor a little bit. But as a vacuum like this, just using it like that, it's just too unwieldy. But anyway, let's go through the things I don't like. So first off is the noise. There is a reason why I put my ear protectors in the thumbnail picture, because every time I use this I feel like I want to put these on. When you're using a cordless tool like this, you're always using it in your hand, so it's always within a metre of your ears, and this thing just hurts your ears. It's just too high pitch and I sort of wince every time I use it, and most of the time I'm only using it for a few seconds, so it's not a huge issue, but I really don't enjoy using it. It's really too loud. I know this isn't going to come across on the video, but there is just a high pitch. There's a high pitched noise to that which really does start hurting your ears. To be honest, it's not so bad now. I'm standing in a workshop. If you're in a more enclosed area, like in your bedroom or something, if you're cleaning around the skirting or something, it's much worse. So yeah, that's my biggest gripe, is the noise of the thing. Secondly, it's heavy. You're always using this one-handed, and it's okay if you're just doing a few seconds, but after about 30 seconds of use, this is too heavy. Obviously it depends on what size battery you're going to put on it, but you're probably not going to put anything smaller than a 5 amp hour battery on it. And I just find it really starts hurting your wrist. If you're going to use it with the hose, you're probably just going to sit it down on the floor, and when you're using it in that method, the weight doesn't matter and that will work perfectly fine. But then you start wondering, well, why do you need a cordless Hoover like this, a handheld one? You would then get the pack out type Hoover they do, which in a way I wish I'd bought that over this one. So thirdly, I find it cumbersome. It is a huge beast. It is heavy, as I said. It's too long. I think the handle sticks out too much. It's too big a diameter here. It's all just too heavy, too cumbersome. You end up, when you're hoovering things, knocking the sides. And it's really on the limits of the size that you could really call handheld and portable. It is a bit too big and heavy, really, and I just don't enjoy using it. So the other thing is the catch to empty the bin. You've got a catch here which you then empty the bin. There's some rubbish there I'll take out. And this all works fine, but again, it's back to the design, and it's all a bit cumbersome, because if you're going to hinge that, why not put the catch that side where you've got all this space to use your hands to lift it, and instead you're limited with this space up here because of the handle, and trying to get that back latched up is just fiddly. Obviously, when you know what to do, it's not too bad, but I just cannot see why the catch is on that side where the handle is restricting its access, whereas it could have been on this side where you've got huge amounts of space. And finally, this handle. Again, this is all too big. I know they've got to have a battery here, but look at that gap there. There's 1.5 to 2 inches there. If the latch was on the other side, this battery could be right up here. This handle could be 2 inches closer. It's not needed for the trigger. There's loads of gap between the trigger and the machine. This could have all been brought forward by 1.5 inches at least, and would have made the machine easier to use and wouldn't feel quite so bulky. Another thing which isn't ideal is you have to remove this filter to clean it. These are difficult to clean. What I've done is use the airline and blown air inside, which blows all the dust outside, and that did a fantastic job of cleaning the filter. But if you don't have an airline, they're not the easiest things to clean, and it's also not the easiest thing to put back in there. You do only push it in and twist, and you can see there is a little lug there and there, but it's more awkward than it should be. I think they really got to twist hard, but it could be typical Milwaukee. Tolerances are tight and all well made, but to me this is all just a little bit cumbersome and a little bit crude. But as a cordless vacuum cleaner, it does the job of sucking stuff up. It is powerful. That's why it's noisy. It is powerful and it works really well. It's just the physical dimensions of it, I suppose, I have an issue with. And what I'm finding is I'm not picking this up anywhere near as much as I should be. I'm still using the pneumatic corded mains vacuum cleaner for jobs where I thought I would be picking this thing up, and that hasn't happened with any other Milwaukee cordless tool I've bought. I've bought a tool and I'm using them more often because it's cordless, but with this vacuum cleaner that hasn't happened. I'm sure if you're using the flexible hose on it and putting this down and using it, you would get the vacuum cleaner a little bit further away from your face, away from your ears. You won't be holding it, so therefore it would all be a lot easier on the end of the wand, just like you would do in that picture there, and it would be great. But if I wanted to do that, then I think the pack out type vacuum cleaner they sell, or they do a few of them, I think would have been a better option. And I'm starting to wish that I'd bought one of those instead of this handheld one. So I apologise for the background noise. It's rainy and windy outside, and the roller shutter doors are getting bashed by the wind a bit today. Anyway, if you're after a vacuum cleaner and you already have the Milwaukee batteries and you're already on the Milwaukee system, then if you want handheld, then this is your only option. If you don't particularly need one that is handheld, then I would look at the pack out systems, the ones you just leave on the floor and use a hose. I think they might be a better option. If you haven't got Milwaukee batteries and you're buying this with a battery, then I would suggest you look at other products. I think this is just a bit too noisy, heavy and large, and as a handheld vacuum cleaner I think this is just a little bit too awkward to use. So there we go, there's my review of this product. It's a shame because I love their kit normally, but I just haven't gelled with this one, as I said. So if you've liked this video or found it useful, please do click the thumbs up button on YouTube. Do subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next video.